coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Budweiser Light, with a clean, distinctive taste worthy of the king of beers. And by Southern Pacific, 41,000 people working in 18 industries all across America.
During an outstanding career in the National Football League, a much underrated Ken Riley intercepted 63 passes. He has a half a dozen this year. He just went by Dick LeBeau, Paul Krause, the most ever, 81, Emlyn Tunnell, 70, and then Dick Night Train Lane, as we told you, was next in line with 68. And Hank Stram, Ken's coach from Florida A&M. Jake Gaither is out there standing to the left of Ken Riley, along with Mrs. Gaither.
Yeah, it's good to see him. I saw him a little bit before the game with Paul Brown, and he did a remarkable job at Texas, or at Florida A&M, and he used to be the Hubba Hubba coach. That's what they called him, the Hubba Hubba.
So a nice silver service and a trophy being presented. Isaac Curtis.
Defensive back, Cincinnati Bengals, 1969. 1983. A player's player, a coach's player, whose character and dedication to excellence has made him a true professional. From your 1983 teammates and coaches.
We must reiterate that it is still not definite that this will be the last year for Ken Riley, but everybody is assuming that it will be because of the way he has talked in the past.
Yeah, and the other thing, there's a lot of speculation, Jack, that he might play in the new league in Tampa. He only lives 40 miles away, and they talk about the possibility of his being a player coach for that team.
Go far beyond this. I think for those of you...
Well, there's a fellow who never made the Pro Bowl, and look at all the interceptions he has, and that's something, 63.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
We'll remember him just as much, if not more so, as Ken Riley, the man. Kenny?
So the fans here at Riverfront Stadium and his teammates applaud Ken Riley.
I'd just like to say I'm very appreciative of this day, Ken Riley Day. I'd like to thank the entire Bengal management, Coach Brown, the staff. I'd like to thank Coach Gregg, the coaching staff, my teammates, and especially you, the fans. I would also like to pay tribute to my college coach, who was instrumental in my early development. He was a great man, and I learned a lot from him. I'd like to thank all my family here who were able to make it. And I must say that this is Ken Riley's last year at the Cincinnati Bengals. I will officially retire next week.
That's the first time he has said that, folks.
Never, ever forget the experiences, the dedication, the loyalty as being a member of the Cincinnati Bengals. And I hope this year that we will finish up as the #1 defensive team in the NFL.
So you see what these Bengals are shooting for, and that's why the Lions have their hands full here today.
And farewell.
Farewell, he said. That's always sad, Hank.
Yeah, it really is. Anytime you see a great player like Ken Riley, and as they mentioned, he was not only a great player, but a great person as well.
It's always a sad moment in sports when you hear an outstanding performer, any performer, no matter what his accomplishments, say farewell to the game. And this was the 15th year for Ken Riley out of Florida A&M, and he was honored by the Bengals here this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Bengals are handling the Lions 14-6 here at the halftime. That's where Riley stands with regard to introductions. I don't think anybody's ever going to catch Paul Krause.
I don't think so. And Dick LeBeau, who is his defensive backfield coach, he passed him by 163, and he's done a very outstanding job of coaching Ken Riley, and Riley gives him an awful lot of credit for the great things he's done the last few years.
And of course, the folks in Detroit remember Dick LeBeau very well.
Oh, he was one of their super players.
As well as Night Train Lane. We're just checking a score here, Hank. We have a 16-13 third quarter lead by the Chicago Bears in their game against Minnesota. Looks like we're going to get down to the final week on some of this, unless the Lions come back here today and resolve all of the problems.
Well, the Lions, you know, it kind of looks bleak, but they're still only 2 plays out of coming back and taking control of this game. So anything can happen.
They got a little left by the extra 3 points they got toward the tail end of the